The Dalai Lama has told followers that the role that he embodies will continue after his death. In a video message to a religious gathering in northern India, he added that the search for a future Dalai Lama would be carried out in accordance with tradition. And that's at odds with China's assertion it should choose the next Dalai Lama. Tibetan Buddhists believe the Dalai Lama is reincarnated into the body of a child.
In accordance with all these requests by my devotees and students regarding my reincarnation, I am affirming that the institution of the Dalai Lama will continue.
Let's hear now from Rob McBride, who reports on the succession process.
Choosing the successor to the Dalai Lama is a matter of huge importance, not only to his Buddhist followers, but also to the international community, China in particular. As a Nobel Peace Laureate, the Dalai Lama has become an influential global figure, and as he turns 90, the question of who will replace him becomes ever more pressing.
The rest of my life I will dedicate to the benefit of others as much as possible, as extensively as possible. There'll be some kind of framework within which we can talk about the continuation of the institution of the Dalai Lama.
Tibetan tradition holds that after his death, the soul of a senior Buddhist monk is reincarnated in the body of a child. The current Dalai Lama, the 14th, was identified as his predecessor's reincarnation after a nationwide search located him in a farming village at the age of 2. He was officially installed in the Potala Palace in the Tibetan capital Lhasa as spiritual leader. But in 1959, he was forced to flee across the border into India with many of his supporters after a failed uprising against China's communists. In the decades since, the Dalai Lama has become a symbol of freedom and self-determination for many, widely feted by world leaders.
We seeking genuine autonomy, not seeking independence.
But these activities, like the 1997 visit to Taiwan, have often angered China, which maintains a firm control in the Tibet autonomous region and claims it has the right to approve the Dalai Lama's successor. Beijing is being accused by the Dalai Lama's exiled followers of interfering in the succession process.
Generally speaking, there wouldn't be any talk about the succession while the Dalai Lama was alive. But this discussion is happening now mainly because the Chinese government is interfering with the reincarnation of His Holiness.
The Tibetan parliament in exile says a system has been set up to identify a successor who the Dalai Lama has said will be born outside of China. Rob McBride, Al Jazeera.
Well, let's take this on now with Tenzin Tsundue, who's a Tibetan writer, activist, and the author of Crossing the Border. Joins us now from Dharamshala. Tenzin, great to have you with us. This is hugely important, isn't it? Because basically the Dalai Lama, as I understand it, is saying that the traditional process of succession will now continue.
Yes, this first significant step has been taken this morning here in Dharamshala. His Holiness the Dalai Lama announced that there will be 15 Dalai Lama. And he said that the decision will be made by the Gandhin Potang, which is the office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So the first important step towards the 15th Dalai Lama has been taken today in Dharamshala.
OK, so what is the process then? Will the successor then be chosen by this trust after the present Dalai Lama's death?
Well, His Holiness the Dalai Lama is still with us here. He's healthy, he's doing fine. Daily, he meets almost about 400 people who come from around the world. And while he is still here, he is making a decision, taking a call by saying there will be 15th Dalai Lama. So he and the Gandhin Potang, which is the office of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, they will take a process. And it's a complex process, and there is also a tradition that they are following. And all of them put together, there will be the due process. But what it also means that at the end of the statement, His Holiness said that this decision will be made only by the Gandhin Potang and no one can interfere in this. So this is a clear-cut decision made by His Holiness the Dalai Lama. In a way, it's a kind of a punch in the face on China.
Right, yeah, a rebuke to China, because he's also said, hasn't he, that the successor would be born outside of Tibet. And as we heard earlier, China was very keen to assume control of the succession, right?
Well, His Holiness the Dalai Lama's latest book, Voice for the Voiceless, there he made it very clear that he said that the duty of the next Dalai Lama is to continue the work that is been going on with this reincarnation. And therefore, His Holiness said in the book that the next Dalai Lama will be born in free world, which actually is a very clear-cut statement to say it will not be in China, it will not be under Chinese control. So that these two statements, the one in the book and one the statement that he made here, is a very clear-cut decision that there will be 15th Dalai Lama, and it will be from the free world and nothing to do with China at all.
All right, Tenzin, appreciate that. Good to get your perspective and analysis. Tenzin Tsundue speaking to us there from Dharamshala. Thank you.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.